I'm Ava Inesta here with Coach Mora. It is week 4. The Huskies will return to the Rent this week as the Duke Blue Devils are coming to town. But first, I want to take a moment to discuss this week's theme. It is Huskies and Heroes for Military Appreciation. The helmets have a little bit of a different look this week. Coach, can you explain the significance of this?
Well, every year we try to pick a week and honor our military and retired military, and it's just important that we recognize those people that serve our country and give so selflessly, and partner with Pratt Whitney to try to raise some money for some local charities, and we'll have a flyover, and we'll have some events on the field between games, and then with our uniform we'll wear this helmet, which has been, to me, I've been told, a kind of a logo that we've used around here to indicate Huskies and Heroes. And so it just takes on an added significance when you're playing not only for yourself and your team and your family, but also for members of our service. And so we're excited. We're excited for it, and we hope that people show up and not only support our football team, but honor those that we're gonna recognize in between quarters.
Going back to Duke, they are likely the highest level of competition you have seen so far this season, as they are currently ranked number 18 in the nation. Can you tell me how you are preparing your team mentally and physically going into the tall task of this week?
Yeah, they're a really fine football team, and they don't have any weaknesses. Defensively, they're giving up 9 points a game. Offensively, they've got, in my opinion, a tremendous quarterback, one of the best offensive lines in college football, 2 great running backs, and a group of receivers and tight ends that block, they catch, they have yards after the catch, they get open, they play with a sense of urgency. I think that Coach Elko's done an amazing job in 2 years there of recruiting great talent through the portal and the high school recruiting process, and they're playing at a very, very high level right now. So for us, it's about, we recognize all those things about Duke and we respect the heck out of them, but what we have to do is we have to execute and we have to play with effort. And if we can execute and play with effort, then we'll give ourselves a chance. And so the focus has got to be, on preparing for Duke, but playing to our standard. And to me, that's been something that we haven't done a good enough job of doing yet.
Yeah, Duke has built up all the momentum since week 1. They're coming in with a 3-0 record. They have a very athletic quarterback in Riley Leonard. He's a very smart decision maker, and he's brought Duke a lot of success in their first 3 games, all at home. We've talked about this before, but a pattern you've seen with your Huskies team is not being able to control the quarterback and contain them. And although I do think it improved a little bit in the second half of last week, here you are with another big competitor in Leonard. So what is the biggest message to your defense in preparing for a very strong Duke offense?
Be disciplined and take care of your responsibility. This is no disrespect to the quarterbacks we face, because they've all been very successful against us, but this guy's the best. And he's one of the best in the country, in my opinion. And as you said, the athleticism combined with his intelligence and his decision-making, combined with his ability to make every throw, combined with his ability to stay alive in the pocket and make plays with his legs when the pass, when he needs to get out and run, as well as the design runs, it's a tall task. And so when you play guys like this, you've got to be great in your rush lanes, you've got to be tight in your coverage, you've got to make him feel you. If he gets away, which he's going to get away once in a while, you can't panic. You've got to make sure you play with great leverage on him when he's in the open field. And all those things being said, he's got 2 great running backs he can throw it to you to, and he's got an offensive line that's going to do a great job of protecting him, and he's got receivers that are sure-handed and athletic and have the great ability to run after the catch. So it's a great challenge, and I think that our guys relish these great challenges, and so we'll go out and we'll compete our tails off.
Last week against FIU, you played a pretty slow first half, but made it much more competitive in the second, although then your battle was against the clock. So what have you enforced in practice in order to play more of a complete game rather than just one productive half and one not?
To me, it's the problem looking back at last week in the first half was the energy and the effort. And I think that they went right down the field and scored on us, 6 plays, 75 yards. And I think that took the wind out of us, and we can't allow that to happen. Not everything's going to go your way in a football game. It's impossible to play a perfect football game, and you have to be able to overcome disappointment and adversity and bounce back and still play with great enthusiasm, great energy, and great focus, and execute, and most of all, play with great effort. And it took us too long to recover from a poor start. And that's a sign, really, to me, of us still need to continue to work on our mental toughness. And that's something that our guys are committed to, and it's a process, and you learn through some hardships, and you get better, and that's what the message is.
Yeah, I know you want to eliminate the excuses, but based on the first 3 games, it's clear that the road ahead isn't going to be easy. I know the guys have the mental toughness to fight back and hopefully come out of it even stronger. What are you seeing in terms of the coaching and the players' ability to rise to the occasion in order to keep those high standards that you set at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, they'll fight. I mean, this group, that's what they are. They're a bunch of fighters. They're guys that they've had to overcome their whole life, and so they're not going to be deterred from their goals. They're not going to give in. They're not going to relent. They're just not. They're not built like that. The coaches aren't built like that. The players aren't built like this or like that, and they'll rise to the occasion. And I know that for a fact about these guys, and that's what's encouraging. And as a team, as a group, a lot of us, not all of us, have been in a situation last year where we were 1-4, and we had just gone through a 3-game gauntlet where we got beat 148-24, and we could have rolled over and played dead right there, and we didn't, and we won't again. And we're in this situation, we can't deny it, and we just gotta fight, and we will fight. We will continue to fight.
And the Huskies will face off against Duke this Saturday, September 23rd. Kickoff is at 3:30 on CBS Sports Network. It is Huskies and Heroes Day at the Rent, so come support your team. Coach, thank you so much, and we'll see you there.
All right, thank you.